welcome to the show. Gather round, listen close. We got George, Brock, and J.A. bringing you the most NFL podcast. It's about to go down. Three amigos ready to run this town. Welcome to the Ball Studio, where the fun begins. George, Brock, and Jay talking NFL with their friends. So grab a drink, sit back, let's dive into the show. The Ball Studio, fam, we're ready to go. Let's go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vault Studio podcast. If you're listening when it comes out, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all.
Ooh.
Brought to you by the Sporting Club Churnside Park. Thank you very much, DS. Love having you, mate.
Shout out DS.
Let's welcome in the co-host. We've got Big J.A. and we got the big red-nosed reindeer, Georgie boy. How are we, lads?
I'm flexing on him, and you know I'm flexing on him in the new Vault Studio merch.
New Vault Studio
What's
t-shirts.
up, everybody?
Shout out to our good friend Horsey
we're
from
gonna
We Are For. T-shirts are here. He did a special drop-off for me, dropped them off to me.
What a man.
Absolute
a man
legend.
amongst men.
So don't fret. I'll do a post with the T-shirts, some up-close T-shirt shots, and we'll be putting them on sale as soon as I do it. So give me till Boxing Day. We'll get them on sale for Boxing Day.
Is George going to be our model?
I don't know. I would have preferred a more jacked guy.
I'm the least handsome, but I have the best physique, so it's a really weird
You know what?
We might have to Photoshop.
Brock is the most handsome, especially with his new haircut.
Brock with his new haircut's the most handsome.
Most handsome by a mile.
Maybe we can cut Brock's head off and put it on. I'll do a real crappy Photoshop job.
Brock's head on my body would have the ultimate man. Let's be honest.
and then my lats. Can we get my lats under your back?
I don't know how good your Photoshop skills are.
They're not good at all.
Anyway, shout out to Horse. Gun effort as usual. He's like I said, he's an absolute champion. And shout out to Brock's barber. He's doing God's work.
Shout out to Lim Beef Barbers down in Mornington. 3 venues. Make sure you go see him.
Mornington.
Absolutely doing God's work.
Did you drive to Mornington?
Nah, he's in Langwarren.
Well, I work close to Mornington. I might have to start hitting this guy up.
Swing on.
I think
What do you reckon he can do with my setup?
Just give it the buzz, bro.
He could fix it actually.
You reckon?
He's miracle worker.
I'll give him one chance before it's gone.
Hey, if he can make my beard look good, he's a miracle worker.
Listen. There's miracle work, and then there's like Jesus level.
Oh, this motherfucker's Jesus.
It's like water into wine sort of operation. My hair at this stage.
This guy's Jesus. Let's get stuck into the show. Let's take it back to the Thursday night football.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Chargers get over the Broncos. Chargers don't lose 3 in a row.
I said it last week.
Okay,
it's a hard boy effect. They don't lose 3 in a row.
Bo Nix doesn't look like a good quarterback when he can't just dink and dump 5 yards at a time. It was a good game, but
it was an overall it was a good game.
I think it was what surprised me with the Chargers was they fell behind, and the Chargers aren't a team that really want to play from behind. Look, no team does, but they're not really built to play from behind with their lack of receiver talent. But what they do have over the Broncos is a top 5 quarterback in Justin Herbert.
Yep.
And his season has just been remarkable. And what he was able to do in that game against a really good Broncos defense, he just took it over. They started running the ball a bit better late. There's the thing.
The run game does help, yeah.
If you build your team the right way and you build it from the inside out, all of a sudden you can start beating up on some of those teams because most good defenses are actually built to stop the pass. That's what teams want to do now because the philosophy of the NFL now is to pass the ball a lot more. So there's teams that are now getting into running. I think
we've seen, and you're right. And let's speak on that for a minute because if you look at all the top teams that are doing really well with really good records, they've all got elite offensive lines and they've all got elite running games. All of them.
Yeah,
every single one. There's got to be something in that.
Yeah, 100%. And you look at like teams that are playing better down the stretch that haven't been good teams all year. Teams like the Panthers, the Cowboys. All of a sudden, they're getting better on the offensive line and running the ball. And you look at what the difference it makes for your team when you can protect your quarterback and run the ball a little bit to help you. So,
and you look at like teams like San Francisco who don't place a lot of emphasis on drafting elite offensive line talent high in the draft. Brock Purdy's running for his life, and all of a sudden he looks like an average QB, which he kind of is.
Well, yeah, they've lost a bit of talent. There's actually, while we're on the Niners, there's reports that he's going to get a 4-year, $58 million a year deal very soon.
Absolute. Well, that's.
Yeah.
I would honestly. I don't think he's worth more than $40 million a year.
There's no one else though. What are you going to do?
What's the alternative? Do you Vikings?
You don't sign him. You don't sign him. He's still got a 5th year.
Yeah, well,
you don't sign him.
He's got a 4th year. His 4th year is next year because he's the last pick in the draft. So he doesn't have a 5th year option.
Right. So he's got a last year of his contract next year. Don't sign him. You don't need to extend him.
No.
Where is the gun to your head to extend him? Explain that to me.
You reboot it next year.
So why are they in a rush to give him $60 million a year?
I don't know. Sorry, the screen's just had it's all good. The
All
screen
good,
just
it's
had a
all good.
capitulation.
Just chill.
Why
Why are they in a rush to give him all this money? He's
What teams
proven
do.
nothing. But why though? Why?
Well, I think it's unfair to say he's proven nothing. He's gone to a Super Bowl. He's won a bunch of playoff games. I'm not saying that's the key. Their team's very good. But to say he's proven nothing, I think is unfair. I think he's proven some
Okay,
things.
apologies, I misspoke. He hasn't proven that he's worth $60 million a year.
No,
Do you agree with
that's
that?
Very fair.
That's
very fair.
that's what I meant.
And everyone's comparison is, well, Dak Prescott got 60 million. Dak Prescott's been in the league for 8 years now.
Yeah. Dak's got runs on the board to get that money.
In fairness, a lot of runs on the board.
And
Like,
he's still not worth $60 million a year.
no. And I said this before. I don't think any player is worth 6 million a year.
I disagree.
But as the cap,
I think Josh
starts to
Allen's worth
incre-
$60 million a year.
Yeah,
I think
potentially.
Patrick Mahomes is worth $60 million a year.
As the cap goes to crawl up, though, this is just what happens. It's the natural progression of the quarterback position. Purdy will get 58 million, and then in 3 years' time, he'll be the 10th highest paid quarterback in the league
Yeah.
because it just keeps crawling.
Everyone else is going to
I
get paid.
don't
Yep.
disagree with your statement. But
Everyone
right
was
now, $60 million a year is top money.
Seems crazy.
And he's not worth top money.
When they're on a bit of a run as well, what is going on with the screens? My Atlanta. Sorry, our computer screens are just having a real fit today, but that's okay.
Chris, professional setup here at the moment. We're just dominating.
But yeah, I he will get it.
He will, but I don't agree.
No, I agree too. But I don't know what the alternative is.
Wait another year.
Yes, I think if he's happy to play next year on his rookie deal, which
He's got no choice. He's under contract.
he does have a choice, he can hold out.
Yeah, but that year still doesn't count though. If he holds out the whole year, then he's still got to play that year out. Correct?
Yeah. But he won't hold out the whole year. But what he'll do is he'll put a gun to their head and say, well,
The same thing Brendan Ayuk did.
yeah.
Yeah, like he was under contract, held out, and got paid.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you're not-
and that was a mistake too. They paid him way too much money.
Well, he got injured, and I do agree with you. He did get paid way too much money for his value of position.
That's what I mean.
And it's
Correct.
the same with Debo as well. Debo got paid all this money.
Debo.
Now he wants to be an X receiver. Debo, you got paid the money because you're gadget guy.
100% agree.
Like you got to
He-
do what gets you the money.
He can't do the gadget shit anymore because he's too fat. Have you seen him? He's a proper lard ass. He's way too fat.
he's way too big. But it's a case of are they not doing it with him because he's too big, or
Yes.
are they not doing it with him because he doesn't want to do it anymore?
Well,
No, he doesn't have the traits to play wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the skill set. He's got a very good skill set, but it's not as a pure X receiver.
No, he's not.
It's as a running back,
gadget guy. Like Brock said it perfectly.
Wing back, slot receiver, all those sorts of things. And it's about moving him all the time so teams can't key on him.
And,
Now
and,
with
and
the
that's perfect for
injuries-
Shanahan too because he can scheme up all that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But he's just he is just too fat to do that now.
Yeah.
He just gets gassed. Like you can see it. He's fucking gassed, bro.
Yeah, and he drops the ball, which is...
Well, you do what's the first thing to go when you're tired? Your skills.
Yeah, agreed. We'll move on from the Chargers. Let's go to the
No,
Texans.
shout out Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
I love
Herbert's-
him.
He's a goat.
And shout out Jim Harbaugh. Love him.
Yeah, as you've said it before, I think we all agree the Chargers are really they're in a rebuild this year, and they've still found a way
To make the playoffs.
You'd think they will. Who do they play the next couple of weeks? They've got the Pats and the
the Raiders.
They're going to win one of those games.
Two
minimum.
very winnable games for them.
I think they'll win both, but if they win one, they're in. So
Well, there you go.
And the win over the Broncos was super important because
Yes.
it takes that doubt out of your mind. They're in complete control of themselves now. Whereas if they lost that game, all of a sudden the Colts, Bengals, and Dolphins are really banging at the door trying to steal that spot. So it's huge. I want to touch on the Texans game. The Chiefs won again, which they're 14-1, which is just outrageous. But I wanted to more touch on the Tank Dell injury. What an unlucky dude.
Yeah.
He's now had season-ending injuries his last 2 seasons.
2 years in a row, yeah.
This one is horrific to the point where they had to leave him in Kansas City to get treatment. He couldn't
I didn't
fly
know
or
that,
get home. They had to leave him there for a couple of nights. I believe he's home now, but you saw the Texans' reaction and their team reaction to him getting injured. One, he's obviously a very well-respected and liked guy because if people don't like you, they don't react like that.
True.
But also, I think they knew it was pretty bad because he was on the field for 15 minutes before they could get him off. It wasn't just a quick, let's just get him off the field here and sort this out. It was really bad, carted off. He was obviously very emotional, but then all Stroud, D'Amico Ryans were all extremely emotional too, which tells you that it's not just it sounds stupid to say the run of the mill knee injury
Or run of the mill broken leg or whatever.
it seems very, very bad.
So 10 hours ago, torn ACL, dislocated kneecap.
So it's very similar to the Chubb injury last year.
Yep.
And in fairness, Chubb's been pretty bad this year. He doesn't look like the same guy, but he's back playing. So
Yeah.
it's not like people are saying, "Oh, his career's over." His career's not over.
No, career's not over. No.
Modern medicine is way too good.
Minus physio and this and that and
Yeah.
all the stuff they do. Yeah, for sure.
Will he ever be
Therapies.
the same guy is the question, because he's had
I think-
2 great seasons ended short with bad injuries, and it will start to stack up on you.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think there is a cumulative effect on injuries. It is a real thing. Like,
Yes.
yeah, sure, he'll be able to come and play and he'll be productive and whatever, but will he be the same? Time will tell.
And it's also a massive dint to the Texans' season, because they were starting to get. Look, do I think they're the best team in the AFC? No, they're probably the 5th or 6th best team in the
Well,
AFC.
they're currently the 4 seed, which is probably about right.
Yeah, well, if they were
Considering
in,
they're going to win that shit division.
if
like-
they were in any other division, though, they wouldn't be winning it.
Yeah.
no, they wouldn't be.
Yeah,
They'd be
so
fighting
that's-
for a playoff spot.
So they're kind of a fake 4 seed, which happens
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Falcons and the Bucks, whoever gets that in the other. in
They're
the
like that
NFC.
fake
it's,
4
it's
seed.
the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
4
yeah,
seed.
yeah.
They're probably the 7th best team, but they're in the worst division, so they're going to win a division and be a good seed.
Hey, and that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It's the beauty of the way the NFL.
That's how
and
it
it's
is.
the beauty of the way American sports actually set up their leagues.
It's purposefully done like
because
that.
it creates meaningful games until the end of the season. Because we're talking about right now, like the seeds are almost done for both the NFC and the AFC, but the games are also meaningful still because they're all playing each other. So there's still an opportunity that teams can steal a division late. Like you look at the NFC.
Well, the Vikings can still steal that division, man.
Yeah, well, and like the Bucks and the Seahawks are all but eliminated from the playoffs if they weren't in the division they're in.
Yeah.
They're only alive because of their division. They're not
Yep.
taking a 7 seed.
Yep.
Because they're 2 games short, and Washington have got 2.
Like, just while we're on it, like, look at Vikings. They've got Green Bay, and then they've got at Lions. Like, they could drop that game, and then that at Lions game could be like, really important.
Yeah, 100%. So, but shout out to Tank Dell. Get healthy, get back.
Yeah,
But
I hate injuries, man.
it's a huge, as we say, we will play with the injuries off the Vault Studio if we could. But it's a huge into the Texans.
They picked up Deontay Johnson from the waivers as well.
Yes.
I saw the
From
Ravens cut him.
Yeah.
That's such a ball move. Just be like, you know what, we're just going to cut you. There's absolutely zero interest in you anywhere. See you later.
Yep.
Which isn't the worst signing for the Texans either. You need a
another receiver.
You need a guy who can come in and play for you straight away. Like Deontay Johnson's probably the perfect guy. He's your best option at this point in the season.
Sure.
Unless Des Bryant's still running around somewhere looking for routes. Or Terrell Owens. Sorry, Teo.
T.O.
Teo's still ready to
I
go.
reckon Ocho could suit up.
Ocho could suit up still.
Ocho's done, man. He's not even joking about it anymore. Teo's still out there training like a team could pick him up any time. That's the ultimate delusion.
Yeah, that's
At 42, thinking a team's going to sign you to play wide receiver. But it'd be fun. Like, why if you're like a crap team right now, like the Panthers, why don't you go and sign him for a game?
you'd sell some tickets. and
Get
that's
some
about
people
it.
through the doors.
I
Who
feel like
cares?
Jerry Rice played when he was like 40 as well.
Jerry Rice
in
is-
Oakland.
Jerry Rice is the goat, mate. He had 1,000 yards. There's
was
this
punching
old
his own
stat
ticket,
that's
man.
like people who have had 1,000-yard seasons over the age of 40. Jerry
Yeah,
Rice.
it's Jerry Rice, yeah.
He's the only dude
Yeah.
at the Raiders. So, which is where careers go to die, as we all know.
Let's talk about Brocky's team. I know he's chomping at the bit to talk about him.
Ready to talk about Ravens?
Yep.
Well, as we both said last week, I thought we'd have a shut the fuck up game from Lamar, and other than one bad interception, which
isn't him.
it was on the receiver.
Yep.
He just stopped running the route.
Definitely on the receiver. The guy just stopped. He just stood there like a fucking
Bateman,
statue.
yep.
Just keep running,
Well,
you dickhead.
in fairness to the receiver, it's a drag route with a stop in it, right? So the idea of those routes are you're running your drag. If you're in man, you outrun your man. If you're in zone,
You try and sit in the zone, yeah.
So I don't really think it's either of their fault. I think Bateman didn't sit early enough. So
Yes.
it was just that ultimate thing that as he went to throw it, that
Sitting.
he sat.
Yeah.
Like the second, it's like in Madden when as soon as you push the button, then you see the receiver stop. You're like, oh no, the mechanics are all off. We're throwing it. We're throwing it for the drag. So I think it was just a really bad moment for the team. It happens sometimes. But other than that, I thought Lamar was absolutely unbelievable
Had a
against
great
very
game. Run
good
game
team.
was unreal too.
And Henry, when he's doing what he was doing, again against a stout Steelers defense, what he was able to do and
Yep.
really just do some damage, like 160 yards. Can I ask you, is there any way Henry can steal Offensive Player of the Year from Saquon?
Has to get more yards than him, I think.
Yeah.
You think it's just whoever has more yards
And
gets
then
that?
more rushing yards and probably yards from scrimmage will count as well.
Yeah, because I think Saquon's only about 100 yards off 2,000 yards, or 150 yards off a 2,000 yard season.
Of scrimmage from scrimmage.
No, from rushing.
Rushing yards.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he's not that far off it.
No, I don't think it's. I think it's a bit more than that.
I don't think Philly.
300 and something. So I think it's like 300. You still got to get like 300 yards.
it's going to be tough. It's not undoable, but it's going to be tough.
Saquon 138, and Derrick Henry 1636.
Yeah, so he's
So
only...
he's 202 yards off him.
But Saquon's only, 1,830 yards or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
It's only 170 yards off it.
For a 2,000-yard season, yeah.
Which would
If
be
he gets
huge.
that, he's getting.
Well, he'd be the 9th guy ever to get 2,000 yards in a season.
He's getting the O point.
It's extremely
He's
rare.
getting the O point for sure.
Yeah, I think he will too. I didn't realize Henry was that far behind him.
Yeah, he had a game where he only put up 50 yards. A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think the same week. I think
I think it was
that
against-
week
it was against-
Saquon did put up like 250.
He broke the record, yeah.
I think it was against Steelers. He only put up like 60 yards against them.
Not-
Not Steelers, against Eagles. He only put like 60 yards against the Eagles.
Not this week. He was unbelievable.
He was
He's
trucking everyone.
unstanding.
Is there anyone when he gets in the open field that's better than him?
No.
And I'm talking about, like, I'm putting everyone in the category, like guys that can, guys like CMC and Saquon, like that it's just ultra athletic that can make guys miss. Is there anyone that when he gets a full stride going is just uncatchable? Like, this is when he gets running at that full, and we've all seen it, when he gets that full stride, legs going at full stretch, I don't think there's anyone more athletic than him in the open field.
Yes, but also he's doing it in year 10 or year 11.
Oh, yeah.
That's the fucked up part, man.
He's breaking all the
and
rules.
he's so fucking big.
There's no one more physical when he's
and he's
running. full
getting
speed.
better as the season goes on.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck, man?
But that's because we haven't fed him the ball
yeah,
all
that's
year.
true. That's true. That's true.
If we legit just gave him 30 carries a game,
Yeah.
he would
He'd
easily
be
have 2,000 yards.
He'd be out of gas by now too, though. He'd
No,
probably
but
all
he-
be dinged up.
No, but he did the exact same thing at Titans.
Not last
True,
year,
for
but
years.
for a few years he did, yeah.
Yeah, true.
Did it for years. He just fed him
Well,
the ball 30 times a game.
Small don't get smaller.
That's true.
That old phrase, like he doesn't get smaller as the game goes on, and
No, it was a good win.
And it seems he doesn't get slower.
And it was a crucial win in the sense that Steelers win that game, they wrap up the division.
Yep.
that was it. It was literally clinched if they won
Clinched
that
if
game.
they win that game. So that was a really important game for both teams. Division game. It was
Our defense was outstanding.
The defense was
So
good. Yep.
It's also Ravens box seat. Now.
Pickens is a big out for the Steelers.
I agree.
Pickens
He
is
is a big out.
Pickens is a big out, but our secondary, if you actually look at the numbers and actually watch them play, with Kyle Hamilton
Without
back,
Pickens, they've got no other threat. There's no other threat in the passing
doesn't
game.
matter. Kyle Hamilton flies around.
Hamilton's great. He's been great all
Roquan
year.
Smith covers underneath
He's been great all
extremely
year.
well.
It definitely matters. I don't know, watching that game, I don't know if Pickens changed it as much as what all the Steeler people are trying to say he changed it. Don't get me wrong, I think he makes it a bit easier, but what they actually did to Russell Wilson was take away big plays and force him to just play smart, and he couldn't do it for the whole game.
Right.
He threw an awful pick six, which was right
Yeah,
after the
that was-
Lamar pick, which was the game-ending moment.
That was terrible. It's like he's thrown the pick. He's giving you the ball. You've got an opportunity to drive the field, drain some clock, do all the good things, and then it just fucking coffers up again.
Not
Like,
even
fuck,
that.
bro.
He tried to run it from the 30-yard line, run it down to the goal line,
Mm.
start the ball again on the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
You try and be Superman. You lose the ball.
Yeah,
we
that's
drove
right.
we drove the field 92 yards.
That's right. Yep.
For a touchdown.
That's right.
That's the shit that good teams don't let that happen.
No, I think this is where Wilson's got such a good history of being the smart guy on the team, and this is just I don't think Pittsburgh are a bad team in any way. I think they can win a Super Bowl. I think if they were to do it, they needed to do it winning the division because they need to play at home.
Sure.
But so this is a big dent because they've now got KC and the Bengals, and KC are going to be super motivated.
They're both
this
on the
week.
both
No,
both at
both at-
home. Both
both
at
at
home,
home.
which is a big plus.
But KC are going to be super motivated this week because they will want to win and lock up the number 1 seed, and then they'll want to rest all their guys for that last game of the season.
Does that lock it up?
Yes, it locks up because they're 2 games ahead of the Bills, and the Bills own the tiebreaker. So if they win one more game, the Bills can't tie with them.
Sure.
At best case, KC have to lose out, and Bills have to win 2 games, who have got the Jets and the Pats. So
Which they will.
They're going to win out. And then you've got KC have got Pittsburgh and Denver. So I think that KC will throw everything at Pitt this week to just win that game, lock
Sure,
it up, and then
sure.
rest their guys.
Rest everyone against Denver.
Yeah, because they won't care then. They'll have the number 1 seed.
And it'll be a crucial game for Denver because they'll want to win that game to get in.
Yes.
They'll probably be winning in, really.
Which will shit me because they'll gift Denver a playoff spot,
Yeah.
which will be annoying because I think since you could catch them, which we'll touch on later. But yeah, huge win, and I think if we look at it now.
Because last week we both said, you and I both said that Lamar had a great performance against the Giants, but it means nothing if he can't back it up with a good performance against the Steelers,
100%. And
who've
he
had
did it.
his number
Yep.
his whole career basically,
No,
and he did it. And he did it.
I'm gonna debunk that. He was 2-4 against Pittsburgh. He's never played him twice in a season,
Yeah.
and he's never played him at home.
Okay.
Really?
Yes,
He's
never
been injured.
He's either been injured or he hasn't been available for the game. So I think one year he had COVID
Two,
for one of those games.
But 2-4 is still a pretty significant losing record.
Sure, it's a losing record,
It is,
but when you beat every other team,
no doubt. But I'm talking about the Steelers specifically.
yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
But listen, playing a team
Because every team's got bunny teams.
Well, that's the league.
I agree.
That's the division.
I agree.
You split your division
I
games.
100% agree. That's what I'm
split-
saying.
you
It was
split
an
your division
important game to stay in the race for the division. It was a very important win. It was a really good win.
And if you notice, there's been
a really good win.
No noise about Lamar since he won that game. Like all this, can you do it? Can you do it? They've all just gone real. All the media have just gone real.
Yeah,
quiet.
why? Because he did it.
Because he did it, yeah.
Tick.
And he played very well.
Tick.
Very
Good
well. And he
job.
didn't even have to run. Like he was just
cruising,
just
passing.
dealing dimes. Like,
Dealing?
Yeah,
the
dimes out
whole-
of Zay Flowers,
Yeah.
Aguilar.
Yeah, Zay Flowers a star,
Bateman.
man. He's
the
so
fact
good.
that Aguilar is still getting around this league just baffles me every time. It makes me laugh.
He's
every
a good.
time.
He's a good.
He's solid.
receiver.
Yeah, he's
a
a good
solid receiver.
He's a good third or fourth option.
Yeah.
He is. You're right. He's very athletic. Let's go on to. I've created a nickname for Michael Penix. It's Michael Penis with an X. He wins his first start.
Yeah, good win.
Well,
Giants.
it was the Giants.
You still won.
And they had 2 pick sixes, which, like I said, the score was, I think it was 34-7. So Penix played well enough. I will say one thing about him. His arm is so lithe. And we said this in the preseason. Shit, he's got something that Kirk Cousins doesn't have at this point of his career.
Zip.
He can uncork it.
Yep.
And I think that suits what the Falcons want to do.
Sure.
Because they want to run that play action stuff and then be able to take shots.
Yeah, just like deep shots off that play
And
action.
Kirk Cousins just couldn't do that at this point.
Yeah.
Also, it came from Adam Schefter, the Falcons are already telling Kirk Cousins they're going to cut him.
Yeah.
So they cut him before March 10. They say March 7. They save 10 mil on their cap next year, which 10 mil's a good player.
Sure.
You can sign a good
Still a
player
lot of
with
money
that.
to eat though. It's still like they've got to eat like $40 million.
But this is where we were all very critical of when they drafted Penix. So I thought they should have drafted a defensive player. But I guess what they did was they gave themselves an avenue for success if Kirk Cousins didn't work out, which it looks like it's not. It's a very easy decision now to cut him and save that $10 million because you've got Penix on a rookie deal for the next 4 years, and you've got a guy that you're like, well, we drafted him in the top 10. Let's go to this kid and see what he does.
Well, it's a case of like if the Falcons didn't draft Penix, they're sitting mediocre mid-range team. They're not getting a quarterback this year out of that. So you got to roll with
in the draft. That's
you
true.
got to roll with Cousins again next year.
True.
And all their players will leave.
Yep.
Like receivers, Drake London, Pitts to an extent, but Mooney, Bijan, they'd all be like, well, what are we doing? You don't have a quarterback. You signed Kirk Cousins. He's now no good. Like, there's no future for me.
At least you've
here.
got a young guy around. There's like that
Yeah,
buzz, there's
they
that
can-
excitement.
They can build with him. They can now. Well, we got a young kid with a cannon of an arm.
Yeah.
I imagine Drake London sat there going, "Thank fuck, I got a guy that can just zip this ball into me because I'll catch anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's within 5 yards of me, I'm going to catch
London's
it."
Stud,
That's the
man.
case when it's
I rate
zipping
London.
into you. It's easy to catch when
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is throwing little aeroplanes to you.
Yeah.
Going, hey, catch this. 8 other people are going to have a chance to
Yeah.
catch it.
That's a
But I want you to catch this.
That's a thing.
Like
How quickly does Kirk Cousins end up at the Jets next year? It's such a Jets move, is it
Quick.
not?
It's quick.
Is it not?
It's quick.
Roger says, "Nah, I'm done," and then they're like, "Hey, Kirk, what are you up to?"
Hey, Big Kirko.
That's an interesting combo.
Yeah.
Who is in on the phone for his services?
I think after the draft, we'll know who's on the phone for his services.
Yep.
Whoever doesn't get the quarterbacks that they love, and I think again, not a big college guy, but I think you've got obviously Shador, Cam. Is it Cam?
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck. I don't think. I think
the
he's
Georgia
terrible.
guy.
I think he's terrible.
He's terrible.
Who's the Miami guy? Cam
Ward.
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward.
I think it's kind of Shador and Cam Ward, and then
The Texans.
No one's that excited.
Quinton Ewans.
Quinn Ewers
Quinn Ewers.
from Texas.
Yep. Fix your shit, Jay.
I don't know what's going on with the screens. They're having an absolute capitulation today. I'm all about it. They're keeping us on our toes. I think Cam Ward or Shador are the bells of the ball.
Shador.
Shador, and then but I think from what from what the rumors are, is that Shador's only going to sign or happy to be drafted by someone who signs his dad as the head coach.
Really? That's
Which
fucking
is an
retarded.
awful way to start
You
your
know
NFL
who we
career.
need on this show right now to overall the draft for us? We need Billy here. we need Billy, the college expert.
I don't know if he's a college expert. I reckon Scotty's got more college knowledge.
No. Billy's a big college guy.
Snipes in the
big
chat.
college guy.
They should have a college football fight. Like we'll have them debate who
New
can be
Orleans,
the college
New Orleans would
expert.
take him. New Orleans would have him.
Yeah, New Orleans would have him. It's a real New Orleans move as well. I think ultimately what happens, he probably goes and signs with a team that has a young quarterback as a bridge guy.
Sure.
Yeah, he ends up at
He could
Maybe
back,
like New England.
yeah, someone like that.
he
Somewhere
could
like
back up at like in San Fran.
Tennessee would have
something
him.
like that.
Tennessee would have him.
Yeah, Tennessee. That'd be a good. He'd start
With
over
Levis.
Levis
Yeah.
and Rudolph, who's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
He's awful.
Yeah, he's not great.
Oh yeah, no. I said in terms of old penis with an X, first start,
Good
first
start,
win,
good win.
and we're burying the lead.
The
Steals the
4 seed.
division back.
Yeah.
So which we'll get to the Bucks later, but yeah, they steal the division back. They're back in the 4-speed. They're in the box seat now. They play Washington, which, as I said,
What do you reckon? They got to win one more game? One more game and they're in.
Well, who do the Bucks play?
The Bucks
Carolina
have got
and New
Carolina and
Orleans.
New Orleans
I think you expect the Bucks to
on
win
the
out
right
there.
at home.
Yeah,
At
I think
home.
you expect the Bucks to win out. So
Yeah, but
I think you've got to have the Falcons at
The
Washington
Falcons
this
have got
week.
the tiebreaker though, because
Yeah,
it beat
so-
them twice.
But they've got to win one. They're not a game up though. They're tied.
Yeah.
So they're both. If the Falcons want to make it, and we assume
both
the
gotta
Bucks
win
win
out.
out, they're both going to win out. So I think the Falcons are playing Washington in Washington this week, which is tough.
That'll be a tough game.
And then they get a sneaky good Carolina team.
Yeah, I can.
Carolina have already ruined Arizona's season.
I'm throwing it at it.
I was saying that. Yeah, the Carolina could beat the Bucks this week. At
Carolina
home.
go play double deal breaker, beat the Bucks this week, and go to the Falcons next week.
I fucking love it.
And beat the Falcons
I'm,
as well.
I'm with you.
Just go,
I'm with you.
fuck all you guys.
I'm with you.
Yeah, just ruined. But well, then they'd save one of their seasons. They want to beat the Bucks, and because they beat the Bucks are out. The Bucks have to win out. They have to win out.
Yes.
Oh no, because
No, 'cause if
Falcons could lose out.
If Bucks beat New Orleans,
Well,
then Falcons
New
beat
Orleans,
Washington.
no one's beating No one's
They
losing.
put up a
to New
goose egg
Orleans.
today.
They
Goose
were
egg.
First all season.
Yeah.
Dreadful.
First shutout for the year for the league, and it's the first shutout for the Saints in 369 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were watching it before you got here.
That's pitiful.
Yeah, it's bad. Let's move on. We talked about Cardinals, Panthers ruin their season. We've talked about it till the cows come home, but Bryce Young's resurgence is
Yeah, he's really good.
Fantastic.
It's-
I love it.
And is there a more likable kid?
No, he's very likable. He gets.
He's just such a likable guy.
There's a video of him absolutely getting smoked when he throws a pass.
And then laughs at him.
He's laughing, smiling, having a good time.
And have you
Then
seen
does
the
exact
throw?
same thing.
He had a
Oh.
guy on a drag route with a defender. They call him a robber, right? So a robber's
Yeah.
when a guy starts a bit higher and then comes down to rob your short route, so a drag or a dig.
Yep.
The idea is that you pressure and then the robber comes down and intercepts it, gets in the way of the pass. To either rob, so you got to eat a sack or you throw it straight to him. They're your only options because you got to throw hot. Bang, robber's there. That's a very like old school style of defense. They've been running. It's like every defensive coordinator has a robber play on his
For sure.
on
It's
his
your bread and butter.
in his scheme. So he not only sees the robber comes down, sees the unblocked defender coming off the edge, throws the ball with enough
straight through the middle.
He
He came through the A gap.
He just throws it perfect. Like the robber's literally looking at it like, oh shit, I'm not going to get to this. And then the receiver runs perfectly onto it for like a 30-yard gain.
Yeah.
That is traits. You can't teach a quarterback those sorts of traits. Pressure in your face. Oh, he's short. All this sort of stuff. We've all criticized him for it. To be able to go, I know I'm going to get sacked. I know there's a guy in front of this receiver. I'm going to place this perfectly out in front of him to run onto this.
You can't teach him. That's innate. I agree.
Yep.
But can you teach him to grow 4 inches as well?
No. And this is always going to be his flaw. But this season, from when he came back, I can see an avenue for success with him now. With those sorts of plays, you're like, okay, this and keep in mind, they have such an untalented football team.
Yeah.
So untalented.
Agreed.
Like the Cardinals are kicking themselves for losing that football game. And this is my next question.
As they should.
What do the Cardinals actually need to do to fix?
I think they're just going to be mediocre. I don't know what it is about them. I don't
Because-
see an avenue for them to get better. Kyler Murray is playing fantastic.
Kyler Murray he's like a veteran Bo Nix to me.
Yeah.
He makes some plays. He's fun as all hell.
Yep.
He does some shit that you're
Right
like,
with his feet. but it's
wow,
just
like
something
there's-
about him. Well, but that's even the Cardinals. I just don't think right now there's no avenues for success for them.
I don't-
see them as
I
a lack
agree.
of talent team. They're not like a Chargers team where it's they're very bulimic with their talent. They don't have Quinton Johnson dropping
Unless-
balls 3 yards ahead.
Unless Marvin Harrison just turns into like Jay Jetters.
Unless Marvin Harrison turns into his dad.
No, but
Basically.
I think Marvin Harrison's got a ceiling to be better than his dad.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
Sounds
with
out-
you.
sounds
Jetters-
outrageous.
Jay Jetters only became Jay Jetters because on the other side of the ball or other side of the field, what do they have? Thielen.
Yeah,
So
true.
you know,
And now he's got Addison.
yep, you're
Addison's
either
a
gonna
stud, bro. He's
you're gonna
so
put a
good.
safety over me. Cool, we're gonna cook on the other side. I don't care.
Yeah.
You're gonna let Thielen, a white boy, cook on you. I'm gonna be a 1-on-1.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Symbiotic.
Symbiotic. And I think Arizona, I don't know what the way forward is.
Their division is a limiting factor as well.
There's good teams in that division.
Good team. Obviously,
Is
the
there
Nine-
a great
Nine-
team in that division? No.
Well, Niners have been very good for a while.
And then would it shock you next year
And the
if
Rams
Niners are good again?
Rams won a Super Bowl, 3 years ago. So like they're obviously good too.
Would it shock you next year if the Niners don't have the amount of injuries they have, which is a big factor in their disappointing season?
It's an enormous factor.
So they come back next year fresh with all these guys back. It's not going to shock me if they're the best team in that division again.
No,
Like, to be honest, it's going to be hard for me to not pick them again.
It's
next year.
I'm telling you now, it's more likely that San Francisco are a 12-win team next year than a 4-win team this year.
And they'll also get the 4-seed schedule.
Yeah.
So they'll play worse teams. I think they'll be. I think the 49ers will bounce back next year. So
I 100% agree.
I don't know where Arizona go. I don't think Kyler Murray is the answer, but I also don't think there's a
he's the
better
issue.
answer than. Yes, you're right.
Not
That's
an
a-
issue.
He's not the issue, but he's not the answer either.
But you've also just paid him 2 seasons ago as well.
Issue, His issue of not this season, but his issue of years gone by has been his availability. But
Yeah.
if he can stay on the field for long enough and start building some sort of chemistry with his guys, I think they can be good. But I don't know. It's always going to be a slog to win that division every year.
But that's the thing. You don't need to just be on the field to build that chemistry. That's an off-season thing as well.
100% agree.
And I don't know him personally, but has he shown anyone that he wants to play football in his off-season?
No, he wants to play COD.
He wants to play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
There's double XP after Christmas, bro.
Ooh,
And all the 12-year-olds get their COD on Christmas Day, so that's the best time to play because you can just towel up on
So excited.
some absolute
So
scrubs.
excited.
Speaking from experience, there,
It's like Notre Dame scheduling a game against like Div 3 team. You're just toweling up on these 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And then there's that one 12-year-old that you're like, oh, fuck.
It's all
he's
Scotty.
cheating.
It's all Scotty and I going to do this week.
Yeah, just
We're going to have a big day tomorrow.
Annihilate kids got it for Christmas.
But yeah, good win by the Panthers. I think you're right. They're showing that they've got something to build on for next season. A limiting factor is going to be the ownership. He's a real piece of work.
He's a twat. I think that they got the coach right. I think I'm enjoying coaching there. I think it'll be okay. And again, their division's not that tough. I can see a world where Carolina win the division next year because it's not that good.
Yeah, it's not
unless
that good.
Penix ends up being an absolute stud. Sorry,
Yeah.
Penix with an X ends up being an absolute stud. You know, like we've kind of. I'll save my Bucks chat till later. But yeah, let's talk about George. Let's talk about the game. The Eagles choke.
Look, to phrase it as a choke is
22 points in the fourth quarter.
it's
You have a
They
two and a half.
They
lead.
intercepted Jaden Daniels with 2.5 minutes left, up a score, and lost.
Yeah.
Now we know why because Devontae Smith drops the ball.
yeah. Did you see him speak about it afterwards? His press conference.
Very well spoken,
Very
and
well.
I was very.
He took all the responsibility. Took all the for accountability for the drop, for the loss.
And the media-
he's just a fine young
the
man. I
media
like him.
are such idiots. It's like, oh, what are you going to do to like not let that happen again? He's like,
Catch the fucking ball.
like what? It's like there's no like magic tree. Like I'm just going to go to training, train hard, keep catching. I've caught 1,000 balls in my career. Like I'm going to be fine. It's just it cost us on this day. It also cost them earlier in the year against
The Bucks.
Was it the Bucks?
I think it was the Bucks.
Or was it the Falcons? I reckon it was the Falcons. When the
yeah, it was
Falcons
the
stormed
Falcons.
back and won.
So really, three losses. 2 of them can be attributed to fucking bonehead plays at the end of the game.
Absolutely, but
So-
this is the problem. It's. I think that costs you your 1 seed.
I 100% agree. It's cost us a
Potentially.
1 seed.
Because what are you got to win the next 2, and Lions have to lose the next 2.
Yes. But even still, if the Vikings win out,
No. If Lions lose the next 2 and Eagles win the next 2, then
no.
like there's a real chance.
Well, no, but if Vikings win out as well,
then they'll jump them. Yeah, it's put you in a tough spot
No,
to win the 1 seed.
but that's okay.
It's not impossible, but it's tough. You'll still get home field advantage
doesn't matter.
till a championship game.
2 seeds beautiful. I'm happy with the 2 seed.
If I told you at the start of the year you could because I think you win the next 2 games.
Thank you.
I think
You're about to take the words
If
out
I
of my
told
mouth.
you could finish 14-3 and be the 2 seed, First, I reckon your first one would be, well, how the fuck are we the 2 seed if we win 14 games?
Yeah, well,
that's
also
outrageous.
true. Also true.
But I think you take
There's
that
not a
in
single person.
heartbeat.
There's not a single person that follows any team who wouldn't take that.
Especially how you started this year. You guys started very
Very
poorly.
shaky. We were 2-2 and shaky as all fuck.
Very poorly.
I agree.
So a couple things like okay, division game
Yep.
on the road. Hurts goes out early. I mean, before that, before Hurts went out, we were humming on offense. The defense was looking good. We were getting
Fair.
takeaways. It's a bit of an abomination how we can get five takeaways and still lose a game. That's pretty bizarre. It doesn't normally happen. A lot of really weird things
Do you know
happen in that game.
There's been 2. I saw the stat. There's been 3 teams in 60 years that have had 5 turnovers and won the game, and 2 of them are this season.
Yeah.
The Lions when Goff had 5 interceptions,
Yeah,
and
Washington.
Washington. And look,
And the other thing is as well, we had 10 wins in a row.
It's tough.
Kind of due for a loss.
Division game.
You can't just keep winning games every week.
CJ
It's
Gardner
the NFL.
I can't believe I'm in here defending the fucking Eagles. What a character arc for me. But CJ
Huge
Gardner
character arc.
Johnson getting ejected doesn't help. I don't like CJ Gardner Johnson, but he's also important to a
He's
team.
extremely important.
He's not a bad football player.
No, he's a good football
quite
player.
a good football
He's a
player.
good football player.
He's a twat,
you miss
and
it?
that's why he got ejected.
Do you miss a game for an ejection?
No, this isn't GV, mate.
Ah, damn it.
Oh, well, in GV, they just make their own rules up anyway.
True.
Fucking twats.
True.
Hey, button it up, bro.
And I don't think that people are stating how important it is when your franchise quarterback goes out in the first quarter.
And I didn't think Kenny Pickett was actually that bad.
And it's Kenny Pickett hasn't played meaningful minutes for anybody in a year. And then you're expecting him to come in, literally in the furnace, in a fucking division game, on the road,
Yep.
and you're expecting him to do what?
Yeah.
But you still put 21 points up in the first quarter. So you still had a significant lead going into the fourth.
I 100% agree. And all the flowers and all the credit needs to go to Daniels because in the second half, he completely torched us.
I actually think Washington need to switch the fuck on with Jaden Daniels more because I've seen 2 games this year where I've watched them fully, and it was Washington against the Cowboys where that fourth quarter he just kept torching them
Yep.
after being
He did the same to
crap,
us.
and they did the same thing to you guys. What do you do? Why can't you capture that? Because he's
Well-
clearly got the ability to deal, right? Why aren't you just let's win and lose by Jaden Daniels' hand?
Well, I think what's going to happen in the offseason, Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury are going to sit down and have a meeting, and Dan Quinn's going to have all this tape from the fourth quarter where he's fucking lighting teams up, and he's going to go, hey, Cliff, see that? Just do that.
But
Just run those plays.
Is it also a Jaden Daniels problem? Does he need the pressure and
Potentially.
the momentum
Potentially.
and all that sort?
Potentially.
It's a big thing, momentum, as we all know. Once it gets going,
And belief is a big thing too.
but I would also argue, right? And this is it's sounds bizarre on a guy that's just thrown a 5 touchdown game. I don't think he was as good as what everyone's selling him as. He had 5 turnovers. He had 3 interceptions. He also threw what should have been
a
a
2 picks, didn't he? I thought he was 5 and 2.
Do you have 2? Whatever.
It was 2.
Whatever it was. His pick with 2 minutes left.
Should have been the game.
If Devontae Smith just catches that ball, which he does 100 times a season, we're having a completely different conversation where
Correct.
we're saying Jaden Daniels is all splash. And when he needed to be good in the moment,
He coughs the ball up.
He coughed
Correct.
the ball up.
Correct.
Which is what he's done a lot this year.
It has, and that's like the beauty of football. It's like so many narratives can switch completely over just one tiny little seemingly insignificant thing like one drop. We dropped that ball, and what did I say? As soon as that ball got dropped,
you did.
I put it in the chat. I said that drop's going to fuck us.
Yeah.
You watch, and
Yep,
it did.
It did. And it's also
Because
very
I can just
hard
tell.
for a defense to be like, oh, we just dropped that. Oh, we got to go back on now and
Yep,
stop them. It's a
exactly.
6-point game. We have to.
All the air just gets sucked out of your team.
It does, because you think you've won the game with our boy, the KKK, Reed Blankenship interception, which again, I wrote in our chat, we need the KKK here.
And then
here
you
comes,
said it, and
here
it
comes
just changed.
Rodrigo.
It was almost like Nostradamus. Like you put it in the chat.
Game. It's over.
6 plays later, you get a big interception.
And then we're talking differently about Pickett, because Pickett hits that. That was a great throw. It was
Yep.
perfect. Like I said,
I don't think Pickett had a bad game.
I
Honestly.
don't think he was the reason you lost.
No, he wasn't.
In any way. I think giving up 22 points in the fourth quarter is
Defense got to
scary.
button that shit up, man. Come
Also-
playoff time, because you let that's against Washington. You let a team like Detroit get rolling, and they'll put 30 on you in a half, and it's over.
You let a team like the Rams, you let Matt Stafford get going
Exactly,
like that.
and he
you
starts
are
dealing.
done.
You're done. You're done.
I agree. You get let Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, like
Yep, I agree.
mate. You let Baker do that to you. He's going to start absolutely
Again,
when that momentum goes.
10 in a row,
You
division game.
seriously, you could be playing a team like the Vikings week 2 of the playoffs.
Well, you're going to have to beat a good team to win the Super Bowl. You have to
Yeah,
beat
we will.
two.
So just quickly while we're on them, our schedule is both at home, which helps a lot.
You'll win out.
Yeah, even if you win out.
Dallas at home, I think we win that game, and then we're obviously going to beat New York, which will leave us with 14 wins. I think that's anyone. There's not a pundit that covers the NFL that would have said at the start of the season we're going to finish with 14 wins.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so you're going to play Washington first week of playoffs. Absolutely, that's booked in. So
Basically, yeah.
Not basically, you will play Washington first week of playoffs.
Yep.
Because I don't see the Packers. They're not jumping the Packers.
They might.
They won't jump.
Washington can beat
Falcons and Dallas. So okay, yeah. So you're going to play Packers first week of playoffs then.
It'll be Packers or Washington or Minnesota or the
No,
Lions.
because Packers will beat Chicago at home to close out the year.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if Washington win out against the Falcons and Dallas,
That'll give them with 12 wins.
Yeah, they'll be tied. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the seeds will stay very similar. I think the only thing that's going to change in the NFC is Vikings and Lions. Like the Vikings could win the 1 seed, and the Falcons and Bucks. That's the only thing that will really change in that seeding.
Well, as it stands
for
now, we
my
play Washington at home first week of the playoffs. I'm very, very comfortable with that.
Yeah, I
very
think
comfortable with that
But that's what I'm saying.
as a first
You're
week
going to have to
matchup.
play a team like Vikings or Packers
In round 2,
round 2.
which is natural. You're going to have to.
Exactly.
in
You're going to have
the
to play a
divisional
good
round,
team.
yeah. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. If your defense comes out and plays like they did in the fourth quarter,
We're cooked.
you get pumped by
I
fucking 30.
100% agree. We got to button that shit up.
Button that shit up. 'cause
Proper.
That's what chokes like that. That's what lose fucking Super Bowls.
100% agree.
That's what doesn't lose Super Bowls. That's what means you don't get to a Super Bowl.
I agree.
It's very
I
fair.
100% agree.
It's the same thing. Ravens did it for fucking 2 years straight.
We absolutely cannot let a team put 3 or 4 scores on us
Absolutely not.
on us in the fourth quarter. It just can't happen.
One thing I will say before we move on, Jaden Daniels' move on Jalen Carter to make him miss and then run for the first down.
yeah.
Jalen Carter is an incredibly good football player.
Yep.
For him to just have the balls to go, no, I'm going to take you on here,
Yeah.
and then make him miss like that. And then not only, he didn't even make him miss that badly, Carter got hands on him and he was just too strong. Washington fans, I said this early in the season, I should hate Washington because they're in my division, but I don't. They've had too many years of struggling.
Mediocrity.
I think Jaden Daniels is going to be very good. Although I think he could have easily lost you this game, he didn't, and then he did get a
we
game-winning
also got to
drive
remember
to
that
win.
he's a rookie as well.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
that stuff's going to happen. But when the opportunity came up to give him the ball back, it was like, oh, here we go. And Washington haven't had someone like that for a very, very long time.
agreed.
When they're down 6 points against Philly in Philly, that can go. Was it in Washington?
That was
Sorry?
in Washington.
In Washington. Either way, you're down 6 points at home, and they gift you a chance to win the game back. They've had Kirk Cousins who would throw a pick on the next play.
Yeah.
They now have a guy that's going to be like, you give him a chance, he'll take it.
And another off-season working with Kingsbury, they'll everything's just going
And
to build.
getting some more talent in the building too.
Yeah,
like
100%.
defensively, they're not very talented. Quinn will get that better and better.
Yeah, that's true.
They're definitely on the trend up, Washington.
I 100% agree.
So
Ex-
that's
like,
great
and
for
then
them.
contrarily, the Giants are like, I don't even think they've hit bottom yet. The Giants.
They're
I
awful.
honestly think they could get worse.
Like if I was Dable, I'd be trying to get fired.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Get the fuck out of there and get paid.
Yeah, just get out. Like I'd be like,
I'd be gunning
I'd
for
be
that.
doing anything that doesn't void my contract to get fired.
Sending emails.
No, they void your contract.
They void
though.
your contract?
Ask Gruden. He knows.
Yeah.
Old Barcel Gruden, he doesn't care. though.
No, because he's still getting paid by Raiders.
No, Gruden won. He didn't get paid. He actually they had to pay him out because he won the lawsuit.
There you go.
Quite easily.
Precedent.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite easily.
You know who I'd love to see Gruden coaching next year?
Where?
Because I don't know if he's.
Oh, you just
is
love to see him coaching.
Is he coaching? Is he gunning for a coaching?
Nah, he doesn't want to
need
coach.
to, mate. Do you know how good he is at Barstool?
He's amazing. He's
just made
the-
his fourth nut.
Fuck,
at
fuck
Barstool.
Derrick Henry or Saquon. He's the signing of the year.
Yeah, 100% he is. 100%
He's
he
the
is.
signing of the fucking year.
There's no one more enjoyable in the
I'd
media
love
in
to
the past
see
6
him
weeks.
coaching Caleb Williams in Chicago.
It'd be fun. It'd be
He'd be
nice.
so good.
He doesn't want to. He would rather coach Drake May.
He loves Drake May, yeah.
Big Drake May fan.
And I can see why. Drake May is a fucking good football player, man.
Yeah.
You want to talk about no talent in the building. The New England have got no talent and they got no coaching. They got nothing, and he's still good.
I feel like the no talent in the building fight this year it's the Panthers and the Patriots, and someone's thrown one knife in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like, have fun, guys.
They
Who
both throw their white towels. They both throw the towel in.
They've
can get to the knife first?
They've put him in the barrage. Go. We're going to turn the lights off. We're going to come back in 3 days. Whoever's
alive comes out.
You turn the lights on and they're both there sucking their thumb.
It'll be like Saw the guy come out with one arm. You're like, I chopped it off to get away from Drake. He was biting me.
Let's talk about a team that's not going to have much talent in a couple of years' time because they won't be able to pay anybody.
They can definitely pay him. They're just tight
They
asses.
just won't. The Bengals.
My question on the Bengals, and can they do it? Can they make it?
Well, I just saw a post that come up that said I think they've got a 10% chance of making the playoffs.
14% it was. So they need the Broncos
So
to
they must-
lose out against. So they play the Broncos this week.
So that's a must. So they've got to win their next 2 games. The Broncos and Steelers have got to win both.
Yes.
Okay, for them to make playoffs is $9.50.
$9.50.
$9.50 is what it's playing on sports.
Yeah.
bet.
So
It's not the worst
10
bet
to
in the
1,
world.
10 to 1, yeah.
I just think they can do it.
So they've got to win both, and then they need Denver to lose against the Chiefs in Week 18, which we've already spoken on. So the Chiefs are more than likely going to rest everybody and
Which
gift them
sucks.
the playoffs.
Yeah, but even saying that, though, it's a divisional game. Was it in
And
Kansas?
also the Colts and Dolphins both need to
In
lose
Denver.
one more game
Okay,
as well.
which they will, because the Dolphins have got Cleveland and the Jets. They'll choke one of them away.
They're both on the road
against-
too.
Probably against Cleveland.
On
Or
the road.
Aaron Rodgers will need that Week 18
In the cold.
game to
In the
make
cold.
him
They're
feel
both in
good.
the cold. They could easily lose.
And
That's
you've
that's
got
gonna be
Colts.
very
Have
cold.
would it shock you if the Colts lost to the Giants this week?
No,
it
because-
just wouldn't amaze me at all. That's just that
No,
sort
it
of
wouldn't
team.
because no.
I can see him beating the Giants, but not beating the Jags. Trevor Lawrence is still a very good footballer. He's very good.
Well, he's not playing.
Is he
Is
still
he-
not back?
I think he's due back.
He'll be
Would
back
you play
on-
him when they're going to trade him in the offseason?
Are they going to trade him?
That's rumours. It's only rumour. No one.
Who's going to want that contract?
Seattle.
Seattle in a heartbeat, which we'll talk about Seattle next. But Seattle in a heartbeat to take it. I think you'd find there'd be a lot of teams that would take the Trevor Lawrence
Raiders.
Raiders, Titans in the division. There'd be plenty that would take it.
Mm.
The Jets, when Rodgers pulls the pin, there would be that many teams lining up to take his
The
contract.
Giants.
Because $55 million, as I said, in a year's time, like 3 quarterbacks will get signed this offseason and he'll be the 7th highest paid quarterback.
Yeah.
Which is what like it's just the going rate now. Cap will go up another $30 million, they'll be fine. But yeah, I think if logically, like in my guts, I want Cincy to make the playoffs because I think if Burrow could somehow get himself into that 7 seed, shit, that'd be a fun first week of the playoffs.
It would.
Because he's a winner. The
Well,
offense
as it
is
stands right
humming.
now, it would be Cincy at Bills. That's a fucking good game.
Like the Bills would be like, they would be begging to get the Broncos at home
1,000%.
in that first playoff game. No, they don't want the Bengals coming in.
Ain't nobody want that smoke with the Bengals
They don't want Joe Burrow rolling in.
No.
It's literally Green Bay from last year. Like
because
getting hot.
they know that he can put up points.
Yeah.
Yeah, the defense sucks, but he can put up points.
Yeah.
So the
He's been dealing all year, bro.
Yeah.
The only team with that as a starting quarterback that's going into free agency is the Vikings with Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
That's the only one. Everyone else is a backup this year.
I'd be shocked if Sam Darnold hits the open market.
It-
I think that would be the biggest mistake the Minnesota Vikings could make.
I don't think an organization like the Vikings are dumb enough to make a mistake like
Who
that.
also tagged Kirk Cousins for 2 years. Like, they don't care tagging a guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, we're tagging you. Stiff shit. Enjoy your $55 million. We're tagging you. Like,
I think at a minimum they should tag him.
they have to. Have to.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think realistically they need to give him a 3-year deal, $50 million a year,
100 guaranteed.
100 guaranteed. So the
Yeah.
first 2 seasons are guaranteed, and then after that second season, all right, we're rolling with McCarthy, and you give him the Jordan Love treatment.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's just your selling point now. Hey, you can be like Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. You sit behind a veteran guy, and then we turn to you year 4. The Vikings don't have to believe that. Only McCarthy has to believe that.
Yeah.
They can if
And
Darnold's
he's
the best
coming,
quarterback
coming
in
off
football,
a knee too, so he's gonna want time
He's
to
gonna need some
rehab and
time.
whatever. Yeah.
You can sell it easily that you're like, you're our future, but just the next couple of years, we're going to see
just
what
on
Sam
that,
can do.
just on that, like, and they had another really good win on the weekend. Like, Sam Darnold's a fucking good football player, right? He's talk about dealing. He's dealing this year. And the question I want to ask you guys is, how do you, as an organizer, say you've made the decision that you're going to move off Sam Darnold, which is a fucking bonehead decision, right? But let's say you move off him and you're going to go to JJ McCarthy. How do you sell that to the rest of the team? How do you get, because Jefferson's probably your best player, right?
And most influential, I'd say.
Right. How do you sit Jefferson down and tell him, hey, listen, we're moving off Sam Darnold. You know, we know you've had a fucking career year. Like, between him and Addison, they're probably, how many touchdowns do they call, Brock? I think it'd be like nearly 30 touchdowns between the two of them.
Yeah.
Right? You've both had career years. You know, in any other year, we're probably the 1 seed, right? How do you then tell them, oh, yeah, we're going to move off him? And then not have that bite you in the ass? completely.
Yeah, you don't. You can't. And I don't think Kevin O'Connell will allow that to happen.
Yeah, that's
And there's so
that's
many
what I'm
avenues to
hoping.
keep him. There's so many avenues to keep him. And if he does hit the open market, oh shit.
There's a dozen teams falling over themselves to get him.
That's the scary point.
Jefferson and Addison is only 18 combined. Jefferson with 10, Addison with 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
It's still not bad.
Still not bad, I agree.
Not bad at all.
So they'll probably finish with 25 for the year between the two of them.
Oh, that'd be 7 in the last 2 games.
Yeah, that's about right. 3 between the two of them.
That'd be a lot. But yeah, let's just say 20 odd. Yeah, you're right. They'll finish with very good numbers. I don't think you move off him. I think you give Darnold and you've got McCarthy on a rookie contract. You're paying him sweet fuck all. Who cares?
Yeah, you're paying him nothing. He's irrelevant.
And you can easily and if Darnold, the only thing that's going to stop you, and I don't think Darnold's like this, is if you go to Darnold and go, oh, well, we're willing to sign you, and he goes, well, you know what? There's probably 10 teams that will give me $60 million because I'll be in a bidding war. I'll be the ballad
But
ball.
that's the thing. No, they wouldn't be, though. There's too many teams with locked up quarterbacks at the moment.
Yeah, but we just went through them before. Who would take Brock Purdy in that? Like if the
I'll take what's his name's falling all over himself to get Darnold tomorrow. Shanahan will have him tomorrow.
I reckon he's kicking himself if he let him leave last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I think if there's an opportunity that they're like, well, we can take Purdy or we can sign Darnold, right now I would take Darnold over Purdy, which it seems disrespectful, but shit,
No, it doesn't.
I do it in a heartbeat.
No, it doesn't. Because
It's not even a question
Because
in
he's
my
got
mind.
an arm, bro. Purdy's got no arm.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting though. I'll be interested what they do, but
I'm so surprised he hasn't been extended already.
I think it's because they're going to tag him. Because then he gets the big money that he
gets the big
he
money.
obviously wants. He'll get, when they take the top 5 salaries, it'll be like 50, 57, 58 million, fully guaranteed for 1 year. He can come back next year, do it again, and then he's got even more leverage going into the offseason if they don't want to keep him and want to go to McCarthy.
Sure. If he does it again, he can. It's literally.
It'd be who's the highest paid. I want exactly
yeah.
the same as him.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then he's played at a top 10
because,
quarterback
like I said,
level.
any other year they're the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Right.
They might be the 1 seed this year. Let's
True.
not write off Minnesota
True.
right now. Like,
you're actually spot on. You're spot on.
like they've got to beat Green Bay and the Lions. The Lions are injured. Like don't get me wrong, they're 2 tough games. But would it shock you if
Division
the Vikings
games.
win the next 2
They're
games?
very, very winnable games.
Yeah, they win the next 2 and jump the Lions.
Yep.
It would not surprise me
No,
in the
not at
slightest.
all.
With the Lions, if the Lions were fully healthy, different story. But yeah, it's huge. And then like Green Bay can still be the 1 seed technically. I don't think they will because they won't be able to jump the Eagles. But Green Bay are looking at if they beat Minnesota this week, and then Minnesota beat the Lions,
Nah, Packers can't get it.
they can go to the 2 seed though.
Yeah, they can go to.
They can win the
Yeah,
division.
but we got to lose out.
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, I'm saying that the Eagles would jump because the Lions would lose.
Right.
So then the Eagles would go to the 1, and the Packers would take that division is so live right now.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
They're all playing for something very heavily, so it'll be fun. I want to touch quickly on the Seattle. They had a good game against the Vikings. It was down to the wire. Again, what cost them was Geno Smith's turnovers.
Yeah.
And this is my question for you guys: Is the Geno roller coaster over in Seattle?
Yeah, we were saying last night we were playing PlayStation. Like, he's a jag. He's just a guy, but he's not the guy.
Nah, he's not.
very good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking it disrespectful. He's a very good quarterback, but they've got that much talent there.
They're too good a team to be
Yep.
not winning their division. Like this division was set up for them 2 weeks ago, and purely fairly or unfairly, due to Geno Smith's terrible turnovers, it's cost them football.
Well, it's not
games.
fair or unfair. It's a fact.
And you're just not going to beat these good teams with
Yeah.
Geno Smith.
When you got
Yeah.
DK and you got JSN as well,
Yeah.
you got two.
Tyler Lockett's their third guy, who's a really respectable third
No,
receiver.
he's smart. I'd have him as a third guy. At
he's
Philly,
he's
no
a
problem.
very respectable
Very
third receiver.
respectable.
Noah Fant's a good receiving tight end. They've got Kenneth Walker, who I know is in and out, but Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are probably the best running back duo in the NFL.
Oh, the two from the Lions were.
Oh, sorry,
were for
outside
sure.
the Lions, yeah, but they're one of you can easily put them in the category for they're one of the best duos in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're too talented now to have Geno throwing games away in the red zone, and that's what he's done for the past month.
I
And
agree.
they've been able to overcome them against worser teams. But against a team like the Vikings, you can't give them that opportunity
No,
because
you
then they
can't-
because
you
they go
can't
and
give a
beat you.
good team extra possessions. You just can't. That's why I'm so surprised going back to Philly. Like, how do we fucking lose that game with 5 extra possessions? Like, it's just bonkers.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it is, and that's why it
I
never
think
happens.
Seahawks will. They have to make that decision.
If
and move
Trevor
off him.
Lawrence is available,
Is he under contract?
Geno, yes.
Yeah, he's got one more year.
If he is available, they should be throwing everything at Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Because you get Trevor Lawrence in that building with good coaching, a good defense, and a good receiving group.
Do you reckon they're making calls to Sam Darnold's agent? They should be.
Or if Sam Darnold hits the open market, what do you want?
Should be calling him now.
Because I think the Seahawks are one of the ultimate. We're a QB away from being a division winner.
Yep.
And a mild Super Bowl contender.
Sure.
I think with
that's a very mild.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
but
Lemon and Herb Nando's
but,
mild.
but,
yeah.
they're jumping in the conversation, which they're not in right now.
No, with a top level QB, they definitely are because they've got a good defense, they've got a decent running game, they've got good receiver. I agree.
Yeah. So I think they need to be doing that. I think as much as I like Geno, I've enjoyed his resurgence. We all know we love a quarterback.
It would
that
be
finds his
negligent
way.
of the Seahawks organization to not be making calls.
Yeah, because they're in a window now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're in a window even if they don't realize it. They're in a window to be a good playoff team.
Because there's good teams in that division too, like the Rams are good.
Yeah, but you've got Stafford who's older, the 49ers who are getting older. Like whether they're good next year, it's not going to be it's not going to be forever, that team, right?
Personally, I think their window's
hitting,
shut. I think they're shut. I think they're done.
I
think
would-
they've aged out.
I would tend to agree with you. They're definitely hitting the very peak of whatever window
Yeah.
they have.
And as
So-
we know, when you hit that peak and
drops.
you fall,
and
it's over.
they could potentially get that one resurgence next year and win the division. But if Seattle go and get a top tier quarterback, it's their division.
Agreed.
They're just a much better football team. They're better than the Cardinals.
and it's their division for an extended period of time.
Yep. Cooper Kupp and Stafford are getting older. The Rams aren't particularly super talented other than those guys. They've got some good young guys, but
Puka.
yeah, like they've got Puka, but you take Cooper Kupp off that team and Puka's the only guy, it makes it a little bit harder, right? He's still good,
Yeah,
but they're not
yeah.
they're not like an explosive. And you
I'm
take
saying,
Stafford off.
Just
they're
as a
fucked.
quick thought experiment, you take just swap the quarterbacks.
Stafford and Geno,
Put Stafford on that Seahawks team.
they're rolling division.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
It's over. Like
Yeah.
we're not even talking about
yeah,
another team.
exactly.
Yeah, I
that's my
agree.
point.
Last topic before we hit on it next week. I said this last week. Cowboys to ruin the Bucs season.
Yeah.
Something was telling me they were going to do it.
Good win.
They did it in dramatic circumstances. Like the Cowboys defense when they got Bland back,
Bland, yeah.
who played on Mike Evans most of the game, stripped a ball at the end of the game to win
Yep.
it. Parsons again was fairly unblockable. And the Bucs did everything physically possible to make sure he couldn't ruin the game. And then all of a sudden, when you've got to account everything towards one guy, all of a sudden Odigizua looks like a good player again.
Yeah.
You know, they've got whoever the other D end was, Carl Lawson, whoever it was. All of a sudden, they look all right. Those guys because he's taking up so much of the offensive accounting that everyone else starts to do more. But although the Bucs can still win, if they won that game against the Cowboys, which by all means they should have, the division's theirs. Like they're basically.
I think
running
they had it locked up, didn't they?
Yeah, it was still in contention.
That would have been,
but
what is that, 9-6.
playing Carolina and New Orleans, you only need to win one of those games. They've now got to win both of those games.
Yeah.
Right? They're, and then, obviously the Falcons got to win too. But being swept by the Falcons, they knew they were kind of stacked up against it. And I just want to say this because I saw a lot of things with people saying, oh, the Cowboys are fucking their season by winning these games later. They want to get an earlier draft pick. And for those people that obviously support really shit organizations that are used to trying to lose to try and get better.
Yeah.
It's a really crappy thing to want to hope for your team to lose. It is fun winning football games. I enjoyed when the Cowboys beat Washington. I enjoyed them when they beat the Bucs because although they can't make the playoffs, they were eliminated like 2 hours earlier when Washington won. The Cowboys were eliminated.
Yeah.
If they'd gone out and then just not given a shit and just lost that game by 30
Well,
points.
they even mentioned it on the broadcast. I said that for guys that know they're eliminated, they're playing their absolute asses off.
And that's an organization you want to get. That's an organization that plays with a bit of pride.
Sure.
And a bit. Hey, we're wearing the Cowboys jersey. We need to make sure that we play like that.
That's fair. That star on your helmet means something.
I
That's
agree.
fair.
It should, and it should win. They're one of the biggest franchises in the history of sport. Like they're not.
Yep.
It's been a terrible year, and I'm terrified McCarthy's going to get extended. I'm terrified of it.
He just won a contract extension with that win. You know that,
I'm
right?
so worried about
Sell
it.
the merch.
I need the Eagles to just demoralize them this week, so Jerry remembers.
It's, it's on the cards. It's on the cards
I
too
know.
that we do that. After that bad loss
I agree.
on the
I
road,
think
we
they
come
will.
home and just like steamroll you guys.
But if you're the Bucs, you're walking out of that game going, shit, we really screwed that up.
Screwed the pooch. Yeah.
That was our chance.
And it was a very winnable game too. Like on paper, they should have won that game easy.
And the difference between the Cowboys and the New York Giants is the Cowboys, we don't play for draft picks.
Yeah.
If we suck, we suck, and we'll get a draft pick. But if we will try and win.
That's because classically you guys draft well no matter where you draft.
Exactly.
You always draft good players.
And there's something that you get the number one pick that you get the right guy anyway. Actually, history tells us that more often than not you don't.
Yeah,
So-
because normally the number one pick goes to a sucky organisation like the Giants who are going to draft Shadua and he's going to be a fucking bust, which he probably will be anyway.
Yeah, because who's going to protect himself? He's going to have the same problem as Daniel Jones.
Exactly, yeah.
Like Daniel Jones giving gifts to his offensive line. Shit, man. I would have bought them all and then smashed them in front of him.
Like I said on Red Cup betting, he already put the 10 grand deposit down.
You'd already bought it.
He can't take it back.
Unlike Joey B, who bought his entire offensive line Japanese swords.
That's so cool, man.
So good.
I'd have been like, that's sick.
Have you heard him talk about it? They wanted guns, and he was like, I don't know about buying you guys. He's obviously not a gun guy, which is rare for America. He's like, I don't know about buying you guys guns. And then he's like, I'll do. That's what you want. I'll do something with it. So we got them all katanas instead.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
That's a baller move.
Because it's the ultimate. What do you? Because like all these guys are all millionaires, right? Like, what do you give a guy that's got everything? Give him a fucking sword. That's so cool.
You do the Brock Purdy and get a sponsorship because you have no actual real money.
Yeah, but that was cool too. I didn't mind that either.
Do any of those do any of those dudes need a Toyota?
No.
Do any of them need a $30,000 Toyota?
What the fuck they want a Toyota for?
Sounds outrageous. Oh, I gave them all trucks. Like cars in America are dirt fucking cheap anyway. It's not like Australia.
Oh, thanks. I'll give this to my son-in-law.
That's what I mean. Like he's giving them all Toyotas. Like
the
these
top end
dudes,
Tacomas or whatever they got. Sequoia's like 40 grand.
yeah, like do these dudes really need a car from you? Like the appreciation's nice, but I think what Burrow did was more thoughtful.
Yeah.
It's like this is something you put on your wall at home and you have forever. Because
but the
who
thing-
the fuck has a katana?
But what
Also-
Block said, he can't afford it. He got no money, bro.
A lot of break-ins in Cincy as well, so I reckon Burrow's not thinking, if I get a bulk deal here, I'll be able to protect my house.
Yeah, bulk
and then
deal.
my own line
Hey
can
boys,
their house.
get over here with your
I
katanas.
need a dozen katanas. Snap.
You said you'd protect me.
Yeah, but that's
Also,
cool.
is it only the starters or the whole O-line?
I think it's a whole
Does this
O-line.
practice squad motherfucker that hasn't played a rep all year is
'cause
like, here's your
'cause
katana too?
The San Fran one, it was like 10 guys. It was like 10
Yeah,
trucks
yeah.
lined
He's
up.
in the meetings.
He's in there. He's helping out.
he's
on the practice squad, rushing as a DM when they need to
What
learn
did-
their sets.
He's
What did,
great. He's got a towel. He's
What did
wearing
Lamar
a
get
towel.
his O-line?
I haven't seen yet.
No, I haven't seen
No, I haven't seen
either.
that yet. A lot of them wait till later. Or are they Christmas? I don't know.
I don't know what Hurts.
That would've been Christmas
What did
present.
Hurts get him? I think he got him.
Nothing. He said his present was him getting that press conference and going, "Is that what you wanted?" That was his gift to them all. And that's the sort of guy he is, you know. And this is a complete lie. He didn't do that. I've just started immediately. This will go viral in Philly. Hurts is a piece of shit.
I hope it does.
He gave him a statement as his
That's what
present.
the rest of the media does, is make shit up anyway. So who cares, bro?
100%
Don't worry
they do.
about it. All right, so we look at next week. We've got some good games this
Yeah,
week.
so Thursday night football, which is Boxing Day for Australia, it's Christmas Day game.
This is a good game.
You've got Chiefs at Steelers. God, it's stiff. I don't like what they did with the two Thursday night games in a row with the same teams,
Yeah.
just swapping. I don't love it.
But also, fuck the Chiefs.
No, it's a situation as well. It's a case of they can't have someone else play that game
'Cause it's too
there's
close.
3 days rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You got to give them a rest. It is a 7-day rest.
No, it's Christmas Day, so it's
Oh, so they're calling it Thursday night football, but it's not actually on Thursday. That's just it's the broadcast.
It's Thursday here
true
because it's Boxing Day.
So it's
Christmas Day.
it's a 4-day rest.
Yes.
Yeah, it's brutal for them. But yeah, you're right. Fuck the Chiefs. So we've got Chiefs at Steelers.
They could lose that game.
The Steelers should be doing everything to win that game.
They should be. Yes.
Throwing the kitchen sink. They should be throwing Mike Tomlin at him.
Yeah,
Tomlin
agreed.
should be tripping guys up, running for touchdowns on the
He's
sideline to
done
win
that
that
before.
game.
He's done that
Wouldn't
before.
be the first time, probably won't be the last.
Because they're still in the hunt for the division, Pittsburgh, so they want to do everything they can to try and win.
They have to win out because
Yes.
the Ravens are going to win out. I think the Ravens, and this is the next game, the Ravens will beat the Texans. The Texans are
Agreed.
reeling. I think the Ravens are much better.
Yeah, they're
than the
reeling.
Texans.
Yeah, I agree.
And
And they'll beat Cleveland for sure.
All right,
Even
let's-
though it's on the road. Oh, no,
let's-
it's at home.
Let's get our predictions. I'm just taking the Chiefs against the Steelers because I think they'll want to win it and then rest the last game.
Yep. 100% agree with that. Chiefs over the Steelers.
I think they're just they're. Do you know what the funny thing about the Chiefs and the Steelers are?
Yeah.
The Chiefs are just the Steelers with a better quarterback. They're
Basically.
the Steelers with a quarterback that can win when the moment counts.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
They're a strong defense. They're probably a little bit stronger a defense than the Steelers, but they're a strong defense with a quarterback. The only difference is that when it matters, they've got a quarterback that's like, 3-score game. I'll win it.
Whoa. You've buried the lead.
Who's
and they
that?
got Andy Reid.
They're,
And they've got Andy Reid.
They're deep.
That's you should put that at the start.
The
They're
Chiefs,
just a rich man's Steelers.
the Chiefs defense doesn't have like a splashy like TJ Watt player where you go, okay, that's the
you-
Steelers.
that's what I was
defense.
gonna mention.
Don't you dare.
That's
talk
what I was
down
gonna
to
mention.
Chris Jones like that.
I'm not saying. I'm
Chris
not
Jones
talking-
he
I'm not-
does
no,
not
no,
get the flowers.
Can-
he
No, but that's
deserves.
what I'm
Get
saying.
pressure.
Though. That's what I'm saying.
You're right, there's
Agree,
no- yeah,
let's
I
say I
agree
agree
with
with you, James, which I do.
I agree with you, baby.
Thank you.
But they're
Nice
saying,
t-shirt.
thank you, man.
It's really nice.
They don't have a flashy name where it goes, oh, TJ Watt's going to get sacks. That's the Steelers' defense.
Yeah.
Patrick Queen's going to lock up
They
the
need
defense.
they need to get pressure on Mahomes. They get pressure on Mahomes, they can win that game. Personally,
I don't think that's going to save them.
I think Pittsburgh can win the game
I don't think they
if
will, though.
Pickens plays.
Well, he was. More reports he's playing because he was game time decision for the Ravens game.
So if he's, that's a big in. That's
It
a
is
big
a big in. Yep, it is.
I would say that it's going to be. It's
Gun
gonna
to
be-
your head though, who are you picking?
Oh, gun to my head, you have to go with Mahomes because
Chiefs.
only because he's got the refs.
It's just
There it is. We made that joke for 100 times.
we
It's
let
not a
him.
joke.
It's not a no. He no.
But
this
I'm
is,
not.
This
but
is
Brock,
where you're
I'm,
wrong.
I'm not joking.
It's not a joke. He believes it,
No, I believe
and
it.
I respect it.
I
Where's
believe
his
it.
tinfoil hat?
No,
You
I
said
haven't-
you were gonna make one.
I actually forgot about it.
Chiefs are 2.5 point favorite. I'm taking the Chiefs to cover
Yeah.
the line as well.
Give me Chiefs.
Oh, the Chiefs with the points. Yeah, there you go.
Chiefs road dogs. Mate, how do you would a 14-1 team not be a favourite no matter where they're playing?
True.
It's outrageous. They're 14-1. It's
Pickens in, it makes it closer than what people think.
I agree. Give me the Chiefs, though. Give me the Chiefs. All right, Thursday Night Football, Ravens or Texans. We're all taking Ravens. Yeah, obviously you are, Brock.
Yeah, no, man. I'm taking the Ravens.
Lamar needs his 5 touchdowns so he can steal that. And with all seriousness, the MVP race is not. It's not as spread as it should be, or as people think it is. I should say. Lamar's right in it. I'm telling you, Lamar's right. If they win this division, and finish at 12 and 5, he could win it if he plays really well. Which whenever they win, he plays really well.
True.
Like
You can't go on just wins because if it was on, can't go on losses because if that was the case, Mahomes is the MVP then.
yeah,
Stats have to matter.
I don't think it's that outrageous.
You
Lamar
said, before
gets it.
you said before the joke, Josh Allen had a run last year and everyone was talking for MVP because he came back and won the division and made playoffs that way.
They won 10 of their last 11 games.
Yeah, that's right. I did,
Playoffs.
yeah.
So like Lamar Jackson goes on a run, wins the division when everyone somewhat wrote us off 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
When Steelers would have been
And the numbers are there. Like his numbers are
8
going to
and
be.
2.
His
Okay.
numbers are going to be
one's-
much better.
I still think the losses will play.
I think so too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that the gap between Allen and I wish they could give a joint MVP because this would be almost the perfect year to do it.
Yep.
I know you can't, but I feel like Allen and Lamar, whoever doesn't get it, is kind of hard done by.
Okay.
Whereas last year, like Lamar was the best of.
Do they give
numbers.
one and then give the other the O point?
I don't think you can give a quarterback O point.
Oh, is that
anymore.
part of the rules? Is it?
Well, I don't know if I think it's an unwritten rule because I haven't seen it. But a quarterback hasn't won OPOY since
Matt Ryan.
Since Matt Ryan won it in 2015.
That was a 28-3 year.
16. Yeah.
It was 28-3 year.
So I don't. And then every year there's always like 3 quarterbacks talking about MVP, but they never win OPOY.
Win it. Okay, yeah.
So
it must be
I
like a
don't
thing.
think a quarterback can win.
Sure. Which I don't mind. I like that.
No, I think the offensive player needs to be for the best non-quarterback, who's often, like last year with CMC, the most
best
valuable
player.
player.
Yeah,
like, which we've seen this year how valuable he was.
Ravens,
so are you
true.
taking Ravens?
Surely.
Yeah.
5.5 points favorite.
Yeah, I'm taking Ravens. I'll take Ravens at the points. I think they're much better than the Texans.
Yeah, Texans with that injury to Tank Dale's going to hurt them.
I think so too, yeah.
It'll be Ravens by 2 scores.
CJ Shao will shoot himself.
Yeah, Ravens defense good. They pass rush well.
Even if they got Devontae Johnson, 3 days is
He's not a game breaker, bro. Chill.
No, but I think it's a.
He's a
but no,
dude.
but they need receivers.
Yeah, I agree,
They
but
need
he's
receivers.
not Justin Jefferson.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's still going to be lack on receivers
Yeah.
because he won't play. He won't know the playbook. Or he know 4 plays.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Either way, it won't matter.
And he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. We all know that.
Yeah.
We've got Broncos at Bengals. I'm going to do something outrageous here. I'm taking the Broncos at home.
No, it's in Cincy.
It's in Cincy.
Sorry, Broncos at Bengals. I thought it was in Broncos. I don't know why I thought that.
I'm taking the
even though I
Bengals.
write
I'm
that.
Bengals at home.
I'm taking Bengals at home.
Bengals at home.
But yeah, I thought if it was in Mile High, it would give them a chance.
Sure.
But yeah, I think Bengals will win that game, and then put a lot of pressure on the old Broncos that last game of the season. Because I'll tell you, whether KC play all their guys that last game of the season, you got to remember the guys they do play will still want to win a football game.
Of course they will.
So when Carson Wentz rolls in to play quarterback, what's Carson Wentz playing for next season?
Playing for a contract. To
be on a roster.
Yeah.
So he will come in and be like, you know what? I want to torch the damn. I want my last game of the season. Every team looking for a quarterback next year as a backup or a bridge starter.
Yeah, and it
to
just
be
jumps-
like, well, did you see what he did to
Yeah.
Denver that last game of the
Same.
season? One of the best defenses in
And
football.
you put his tape on and jumps off the screen. You're like, oh fuck, we got to
I
sign.
guarantee you, like no matter who they're playing, those guys will still. Now
I agree.
it'll even up the differential of how good the teams are, but they'll still be 44 guys out there wanting to win.
100%.
Yeah,
They're still
absolutely.
professional, still getting paid, still got a job to do. And at the end of the day, like each individual, although it's the ultimate team sport, each individual is really playing for themselves because you don't want to go out there and put shit on tape.
No.
You just don't want to do it because people see that. People watch your tape.
And then they'll never sign you.
Exactly.
All right, next up, we're all taking the Bengals. We've got Packers at Vikings. I'm taking Packers. I think the Packers are just playing a little bit better than the Vikings at this point, and I think the Packers will get them. The Vikings beat them last time. Historically, division split. I think I'm going to take the Packers.
They
on
had a
the
good
road.
game today against the Saints.
But they annihilated.
They did, which is what they should do, and good on them.
I think it'll be a close game, and I think the Packers will get them this time. Which will then, in my mind, it'll lock up the Lions for the 1 seed.
Sure.
For the division, sorry. Which I think the Lions deserve that division. If the Lions don't win the North this year, I think it's an absolute travesty due to their injuries that this is what's happened. Because that'll be the only reason it's happened is because they got so many injuries. If they were healthy, they might not have lost a game.
That's fair.
So I think that if they were to lose the North because of injuries, I want that to happen. So I'm taking the Packers over Minnesota.
Big Lions guy, you are, and I like it. I'm here for it. I'm a big Lions guy too.
Big Dan Campbell guy.
No,
You know,
I've seen
he
him do
broke
it.
the franchise. He's the only Lions coach to ever win 13 games in a season.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Well, we talked about it before. Think about the old 16-game season. 13-3 was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like 13-3 is fucking hard to do. So I wasn't that surprised by it that he's the first guy because Detroit are historically not a great franchise. They've been around since the start of the NFL and never been to a Super Bowl, let alone won one.
Yeah.
So I think they've only won like 2 playoff games their entire history.
Is that right?
It's something outrageous. Maybe the last 20 years. Fuck. It's wild. So I'm taking Packers against the Vikings.
I think. Okay, division game always makes it tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the teams are pretty even.
Yep.
So I'm going to give the edge to the home team
Yeah, fair enough.
and say I think, probably it won't be much. It'll probably be a field goal in it. I think.
Yeah.
The Sportsbet have the line at 0.5 points.
Yeah. See, there you go.
They can't
There you
split
go.
it. They
That's
legit
what I'm
can't
saying.
split it.
Yeah. So they've gone. So they've done what I've done, which is
Why don't they just void the line? Like,
It's
just be like, you can't bet on the line this week for this
Well,
game.
the Ravens-Texans game, you can't bet on the line at the moment, even though it's 4.5 points.
why not?
Yeah.
It's just not available on Sportsbet.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
weird.
that's
They saw the big whale coming in me.
they're scared.
Bet everything.
Brocky Jones drops a 50 burger. Like, hey,
He bets,
settle
his
down.
boss's car on it.
I'll be sitting at the Royal just fucking smashing pints and betting Ravens.
They've done what I've said, basically. Even, it's dead even, and we'll just slight edge to the home team.
Yeah, that's
basically.
So who you got?
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.
Yep.
Falcons at Commanders. Michael Penix with an X. Second start against Washington, who've coming off a really good win. I can't look past the Commanders at home, though. I just think they're a better team than the Falcons.
They are a better
I
team.
could see them losing, but I think there's a better team than the
Yeah,
Falcons.
they're a better team.
The Falcons kind of were a mirage beating up on a crappy Giants team with 2 pick sixes. Like,
Yeah.
Penix with an X wasn't that good. He was okay. He was serviceable in his first start. It gives me hope for the future. But going against a veteran coach in Dan Quinn who's going to generate pressure on him,
True.
you're not going to get... Well, you might get 2 pick sixes out of Jane Daniels from what we saw on the weekend, but
Still not going to matter, apparently.
apparently doesn't matter. But I just think it's unlikely he has a game like that again, and I think they're going to be a little bit too good for the Vikings.
Agreed.
For the Falcons, sorry.
Commanders minus 4.5. I'll take them with the points.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, yeah, take the points. Yeah.
Yeah, I think defensively they'll be good enough to stop the Falcons. And like Dan Quinn against a rookie quarterback, I know where I'm hedging my bet.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real crush down to earth moment for Penix with the X.
It's Penis with an X.
Penis with an X. my
Penix
bad.
has an X.
I think that's
Penis
a
with an
pretty
X.
pretty fair call.
It's
Brock.
going to be a
I
massive
agree.
crash down to earth.
you
Commanders in Washington.
Commanders at home for sure.
Commanders.
And Lions 49ers is the last game we're going to look at. Lions are 3.5 point favourites. The Lions are going to smoke me.
I only put this in because I don't think the Niners are good. They're eliminated from playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's such an important game for the Lions. Like they need to win this game, and then if Minnesota lose, they lock up the division. So it's super important for them. Then that last game won't matter. And you know what? They can rest some dudes
Sure.
and
Which
not
they need
not give Gibbs 30 carries because they're going to have another running back. Like
they need to.
Just give them. I don't think they'll rest them all, but just start them. And if you either start hot or you start bad, and Minnesota get a lead, and
They'll
you just
know
rest them.
in the building who's more banged up and who needs
and
more time
it'll just
off.
give them that ability to be like, you know what,
Some
we're
older
not gonna,
guys that might go, you know what, have 2 weeks off.
like Zadarius Smith, who's an older edge rusher who's been playing quite well for him. You rest him that last game. You know what,
Yeah.
Big Z, save yourself for the playoffs. I know you're not used to this because you've been at Cleveland. But playoffs is a thing that happens at the end of the season.
He was at the Ravens.
Yeah, he was very good at the Ravens.
Very good at
That
the
was a long time
Ravens.
ago, though.
That was only like 3 seasons ago.
Where did he go after the Ravens? The Falcons?
Cleveland.
Was he being on straight to Cleveland?
Yeah.
Either way, you can be like, so you might have forgotten because in Cleveland you don't really talk about this much.
You don't talk about the P word.
No, normally they're
they've got
booking,
one
they're
in their
booking
quarterback.
Cancun.
Deshaun Watson talks about the P word. He whips it out all the time too. I've heard. It's only speculation.
1, 2, 3, kick.
It was a civil case.
1, 2, 3
cleared-
Cancun. Yeah.
It was a civil case cleared with financial retribution. Yeah. He wanted they wanted retribution.
I want my reputation.
retribution. That's it.
Yeah, Lions by the points.
Hey, there's 2 weeks left of the regular season.
Some really crucial games coming up, division games. Really good time for football. I love this time of year.
I've got a hot take that we'll actually know the 7 seeds for each division next week.
Yeah, well, there's only 1 week to go after that.
No,
so
but
that's
it'll
fair
be
enough.
like I'm saying it'll be mathematically done.
Okay.
Like, it won't matter anymore
Yeah,
because I just think that's the way it's going to go.
I think Cincy has still got a shot.
If only the Bucks were playing the Falcons in the last game of the season, they really stuffed that up.
Yeah.
The schedule maker.
Yeah, and it's like win and in.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
Because there will be some like I really hope we get a Cincy winning in the last week of the season. I don't think we will because Denver will get to play KC.
I can't wait for that the Falcons and the Bucks to both be playing at the same time though.
It's so
love
fun.
it.
It's so
love
fun.
it.
And then
Yeah.
like if Cincy beat Denver, I guarantee you they'll have Denver and Cincy playing at the same time, and they'll be looking up the scoreboard to see.
100%.
Yeah, they'll be playing the game while playing the other team's
Yeah.
like score line. It'll be fun. So this is the best time of the season. It then goes into playoffs. So enjoy the next couple of weeks. You know, if you're a fan of a
If
bad
your team's
team.
in contention.
If your team's not in the playoffs, as I said, I'm a Cowboys fan. My team's on in playoff contention.
Enjoy
Enjoy
football.
watching them.
Enjoy the football.
Like I watched the Cowboys game, going, let's see what CD Lamb can do. Let's see what Micah
had a hell of a
Parsons
game. He
can
looked
do.
good.
Yeah, like I watched them going, I'm watching this for specific reasons. Enjoy your players because the NFL off season is the biggest off season in sport. So enjoy it because trust me, in 2 months' time you'll be sitting there wishing you enjoyed it more the last couple of weeks. So enjoy it. And if you're in a playoff contention, have fun. Get after it. Playoff football is the best football in the world.
Amen.
Absolutely.
All right. Shout out to the t-shirts. I'll get something up in the next
Yes.
couple of days. They'll go on sale. Guys, this is not a money-making exercise for us. We're selling them for
No, purely for the fans. Just for the fans.
We want everyone wearing our t-shirts around. That's what we want. That's the goal.
Yep.
Paul Egan, don't you buy a t-shirt? There's one coming for you because you didn't get your last one. Still don't know what happened with that. I'm sure it was a me error. So you've got a t-shirt coming your way.
certain it was you.
100% it would have been. But you got a t-shirt coming your way, so I'll get your size and what color you want. There's one coming your way. Jer, I know you want a t-shirt. I can get them over to you in Ireland. Don't
Yes.
stress. Don't even have to ask,
100%.
mate. Let me know what you want. I'll make sure one gets to you.
Boom.
A bit quicker than last time too. Again, me error, not you error.
Yeah, like you said, it's not a money-making thing. It's just for the fans, just so we can get our names out there. Everyone can just get around the boys, get around the show, and whatever. It's not even about the money. We don't care about the money.
Yeah. We care. Nah, I'm kidding.
All sluts for money.
And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Enjoy Christmas tomorrow.
Happy Hanukkah.
What?
No Jews listen to this show, do they?
When does Hanukkah start?
That's already happened.
Has it?
Yeah, he's a devout Jew.
Shalom, my brother.
On that note, let's get out of here.
Red Cup betting Sunday, New Year's Eve special.
Ooh.
Oh, no, that's not. It's a Sunday 29th. Red Cup betting. Stay tuned. See you, boys.
See
See
you
you, mama
guys.
tonight.
Shalom.
Shalom.